Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So we'll be waiting for 3 more minutes so that other students can join, and we'll start with the webinar then. Okay, so as others are joining, I'm releasing a quick poll. There's just one question. So I want you guys to take that poll. Question is, why do you want to pursue law? And or those who are already law students, why they have taken up law? So the question is why you have taken up law, or why do you want to pursue law? So the reason behind why are you choosing law as your career option? So there are four options. So the polling would start, it would last for 60 seconds. Let's see what would be the answer. Okay. So there would be poll on your screen. Mhm. Okay. So I guess I have got the count. It is really interesting to see that. So, as you have already attempted this poll, there were four options. So, the four options were that why do you want to pursue law? Either parents have asked for it, or money. Of course, we all want to earn a lot of money. Inspired by some movie, you might have seen some movie, Suits and all, or some English series, or because you have passion. So right now, currently we have around 35 odd number of participants here. So as per my poll, 17 people have said that they are pursuing law because they have passion. So we have pretty good number. 17 are pursuing law because of passion. There are three people who are inspired by some lawyer-based movie. I would really love them to write down here in the chat which movie they actually saw. Uh, One person is there who said, of course, because of money, and other remaining said that because their parents asked to do so. So we do have a different poll. So now, why did I ask you this question? Of course, you'll know the answer soon. But right now, let's just say that maximum answer is passion. Then it comes to parents asked, then movie, and then money. So I get we have got the answer for this question, right? So now there would be poll for another question. So answer that question also. So then slowly and slowly we'll build up our webinar. So soon there would be another question. So now basically all these questions which I'm asking are basically going to give you an answer that whether law is meant for you or not, whether it is ideal option or not. So there would be just three questions. So one question, I guess, you have answered. And here comes the next question. Please poll. So do you enjoy studying for long hours, researching, discovering new ideas, Do you like it? Oh, so there are people who said no also. Okay, okay. So if I'll tell you about the poll, so many of you have answered. Now, basically, out of 43 now present right now, 19 students said sometimes. Sometimes they love studying for long hours, researching, discovering. Sometimes there are people, 13 people actually, really, really good number, that they said, oh, they enjoy studying for such a long hour. Frankly speaking, I find it really difficult to study for a long hour, but it's really good. There are 13 people. And there are few people, there are three people who said no, absolutely no. We don't enjoy studying for long hours. We don't enjoy researching. We don't enjoy discovering new ideas. That's also pretty interesting. So here, let's just say for this poll, we have maximum number sometimes, then yes, and then the last count is no, not at all. Right? So now let's move on to our last question. So last question is also somewhat which will determine the same issue for which we have a webinar. So I'm just adding the second question, and then you can answer the last question basically. And then you yourself can get your answer by the end of this session. So here is your next question. Start polling. Sometimes. Mhm. Oh, so we have got the answer for this poll also. So I must say that there are 22 students who said sometimes sometimes decisions are influenced by your emotions. Sometimes emotions play the role. There are 22 people who said sometimes. There are 12 people who said not at all. Emotions do not count at all at the time of making decisions. And there are three people who said yes, our decisions are basically influenced by our emotions. So so again, we can see here there are maximum number of sometimes here, as it was the same for long hours research and discovery. But here, the on second number, it is no, that our decision is not influenced by emotions. After sometimes it's no, and the last is yes. So I guess our poll is done. So we somewhat got a maximum number in which option and the lowest in which for what option. And then maybe I can tell you that with this webinar itself, that if your answer is this, then whether are you fit or not. Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for joining this webinar. As of some of you might know me, some of you are for the first time interacting with me. So, hello everybody. I am Apoorvi, Assistant Professor, IFIM Law School. I'm basically a NALSA graduate, and I am doing my PhD from NLU Jodhpur. So basically, doing PhD from NLU Jodhpur means I'm still a student of law, isn't it? So, who is better than a student of law to actually tell you that whether law is fit for you or not? Because I've gone through it, right? I'm still studying. So, it's almost like almost 12 years when I'm there in this law studying the same subject. So, some of you might be thinking of joining law. So, some of you might be thinking that is it a right choice? Should I join law? Some of you might have already joined law and might be thinking that whether the choice which you have made is correct or not. So that's a question. So let's just say right now it's the moment of truth. I'll give you the answer for that, right? But before just giving you the answer for everything, I'll just tell you one thing. So I've prepared a small PPT also for you. So I'll be toggling between the screen. So once I'll be sharing my screen, you'll be able to see PPT. But once I'm there on PPT, I won't be able to read your chats. So for your question, I'll be coming back. So let's just make it in this way. I'll be coming back to answer your certain questions. So if you have any query, I'll be seeing in the middle and then I'll be answering. Or I might take up all the questions in the end of the session. So not an issue at all, right? So now before going further, let me tell you this small story. So it's an anecdote which which maybe some years back I've heard, I've read, and I actually feel that it's really good. So what happened, there was a king of Burma. He was really wise, generous, really good king. So his prime minister actually retired. So he had an issue and he was thinking that how to appoint a new prime minister, that good prime minister. The previous one was really good, really helpful. So two names came in front. One name was Luke and another name was Batuk. But now the thing was that this person Luke, he was very lazy, very lazy, but he was very strong and intelligent. On the other hand, there was a person named Batuk who was hardworking, intelligent, but had a very weak body. Now, the question was that out of these two, which one should be appointed as prime minister? So, King thought, let's take a test. So, he thought that I'll organize a boat race, and whosoever would be the winner of this boat race would become my prime minister. So that was the decision. Boat race started, but all of a sudden, when the race was going on, there was a huge turbulence. The calm water of river, all of a sudden turned uh, completely turmoil was there. There was a lot of disturbance, so everybody got scared. Luke, what he thought there is a monster, so he decided to go back and he went back to shore. But Batuk, on the other hand, thought that let's dive in and see exactly what is the reason behind this chaos, behind this turmoil. So he decided to dive in. When he went inside, he saw there is a machine which was placed by King only to create the turbulence in the water. And then he realized that this is nothing but a test of King. And what happened? He won and he was appointed as prime minister. So, what he did was he took a right decision. So, in our life, basically, I believe that our destiny is shaped when we take a right decision. And at this point itself, we have to take a right decision. So, once we take a right decision, it's really easy to enjoy life, isn't it? So, let me just help you to make this right decision, whether law is an ideal fit for you or not. Okay, so now I'm sharing you a screen where, and at the same time, simultaneously, along with the screen, I'll be explaining you certain aspects. Okay, now as I told you the story, right? The right decision is necessary to make in life. And this is your time to make your right decision, which is going to shape your destiny. So you have to be very wise. Once you'll be wise, then only you'll be able to enjoy your life. Whether law is an ideal fit for you, whether you should pursue your law, whether it would be a right decision to take up law, because once you take up law, that's going to be your destiny. Or once you have taken up law, then there would be a question. You'll come up with a lot of questions, whether you want to take criminal law, whether you want to take corporate law, whether you want to take any other civil law. So every time you have to take your right decision, because only your right decision shapes your destiny. Like in our story, Batuk took a right decision and he finally became prime minister. So you have to take a right decision if you want to become maybe next Harish Salve. So let's see what it is. Right. So as I asked you the question that why did you want to pursue law? So I gave you four options, right? So in lot many cases, sometimes people say that parents has asked money or movie or maybe somebody has passion, which is a real, which should be a real reason. I'm really glad that many of you said that passion, because I personally feel that because if you have a passion, so even if what I am saying, even if sometimes it happens, we say that there are certain things required to be a good lawyer. Even if you don't have it but you have a passion, then all the flaws you can just remove it, isn't it? So passion is always a good reason, but there are people who have other reasons also. Now, I told you that what do we need to become a good lawyer, or you know what is a person who could be considered as an ideal fit to be a law student or a law scholar. I always say the mix of angel and devil is what a lawyer should be. Now, why do I say that a mix of angel or devil, or a savior or devil, can be a good lawyer? Because if you see, every time lawyer cannot be good, there are circumstances where you might have to lie. You might have to lie for the sake of your client. There are circumstances you can't be soft, because there could be cases which would be really heinous. But there are scenarios where you have to put your best foot forward, try everything. You should have a perseverance to actually take out the truth. So I always say lawyer is nothing but a mix of angel and devil. If a person is only good, then it's really difficult to survive as a lawyer, because the stream is not that flowery. You will face a lot of hurdles there. If you are bad, then of course it's not a right thing. So you should have a mix. But there are certain qualities which we always look in a law scholar or a law student. We call it as assets. So what are those qualities? What I'm looking forward. So these are the certain qualities, and what I believe that every student should have these qualities. And if you have these qualities, it's a very easy choice to make that you are really good fit to be in a law stream. So now, what are these qualities? As you can see in the screen, there are like certain 12 qualities which I've listed. Now, first quality, if you see, a person should be, should be basically a people's person. You should, I'm not saying, see, there are difference between being introvert and extrovert. Introvert, we always say people who is really reserved, who doesn't speak. Extrovert, who is like, who speaks a lot. But there's nothing, when you call it as people's person, it doesn't mean extrovert. People's person basically means a person who can gel up easily, a person who knows how to communicate in a crowd, whether it is limited communication or whether it is to the point communication. It doesn't matter. It's just that you should know how to talk to crowd. You should know how to mingle in a crowd, because as a lawyer you need that skill. You need to have a good communication skill. Communication is skill is really an asset. You might have to convince a judge, you might have to convince a client to give you a case, you might even have to convince your colleague. Sometimes you might have to argue with some person, maybe the other party's lawyer. So everywhere communication skills matter a lot. Then you should have resilience. Now, what do you mean by resilience? Resilience, if you see, basically, we say in a very little terminology, it means to have that power to recover from tough times. There would be tough times when you might lose cases, there would be tough times you might not be able to find any solution. In those cases, you should have that resilience, should have faith in yourself that you can just recover. You should have that power to bounce back. Sometimes it would be good, it might be bad. Other thing which is, most of you said that you don't, not most of you, some of you said that you don't like doing it, studying for a very long time. But actually, when you are there in law profession, you'll have to study a lot. sometimes if there is a case out of 24 hours, you might have to study almost for 20 hours. So there would be long irregular hours, there might be long travels also, so you have to be mentally prepared for it. So as a law student, you might have to read thick books, and people who are still studying, they might also, they are still reading very thick books, and those who are opting other way out, that's not a good way to do so. So but you, in reality, you actually have to read very thick books. There's a very long reading process. You have to research a lot. You have to have a really good reading skill. So so just understand that there are certain profession, which I say, there are profession like lawyers, there are profession like, when you are there as a doctor, or when you are a teacher. These are certain professions where you might have to read throughout your life, and for almost long hours. So reading and research is a really important skill. And another question, if you remember in the poll, I asked you that whether decisions are being, uh, influenced by the emotions, then I must just tell you that if your decisions are influenced by the emotion, then being a lawyer is a very difficult task. Because once you're a lawyer, you have to be like really practical. You have to be, in a way, I must say that you have to be practical, and you have to be emotionless, at least with respect to the cases. So you have to be very strong. You cannot bring emotions in front of it. Your decisions should be practical based, should be case based, should be facts based, should be solution oriented. So you should be a bit emotionless. You should be able to digest lot many information should be digested. Your personality should be really smart, creative, and of course secretive means what? So you can't just, say for example, a client came, gave you information, you're going and telling it to 10 other people, then how will you win a case? So that's not it. So you have to be like confidential about everything, whatever is coming. So you should learn that art of keeping things to yourself, not going out and sharing it with everybody. You don't have to generally gossip about everything, right? You have to be like really smart, creative. You should know which information you should digest. You should know how to segregate. You have to be very organized in your skill. Organized in the sense, you have lot many notes, right? You'll have lot many notes, you'll have to write lot many things. You can't keep one book in this drawer, another book in another drawer, some notes there. Then when you'll be in front of the judges, or you'll be in front of your boss, they'll be asking, so where is this plaint, where is this submission? And then you'll be opening all your drawers. No, it can't be. You have to be like really organized. You have to be really skilled. You have to have that motivation and stamina and perseverance to move further, because it's really tiring to to study for a long hours, to talk to people, to speak, to be organized, to be really informative, and to act smart all the time. Of course, you have to be really smart. So all these things, once you have all these qualities, and one important quality which I always say, a law student should have a judgment quality. They should be able to judge. They should be able to analyze, is this right, is this wrong? So you should have, we always, sometimes people call it as sixth sense, but I, as a law student, I always say it is a judgment which comes with an experience, a judgment which comes with facts, a judgment which comes with knowledge, a judgment which comes with information, judgment which comes with reading. So when you have all these things, then only you'll be able to judge, you'll be able to analyze, you'll be able to present case, you'll be able to read thing, process thing. So what I meant is that these are the very basic core skills, these are the very basic qualities which a person should have, while we say that if you want to be a good lawyer. So that is what I feel, that everybody who wants to be a good lawyer, be it a criminal lawyer, be it a corporate lawyer, uh, be it any lawyer, whether you want to practice in a family law stream, whether you want to practice in any other stream. It could be like, sometimes people want to go in mergers and acquisitions, very technical, IPR. All these skills are really needed. So you have to have those skills in it. But the question is, as we can see the poll, there are certain people who said that, their all decisions are being made through emotion. That's really wrong. But yes, because they don't have this quality. But I will not straight away say that no, no, you can't be a good lawyer. Why? Because see, if you have all these qualities within you, that's really nice. You are an ideal fit for law. You can just go forward with it, and if you just do hard work, you will excel. But other thing is that if you don't have these qualities, then I always believe that if you have passion, then developing these qualities should not be a problem. If you're ready to develop these qualities, then it is better. It is better. But if you're not ready to develop these qualities, then it's a big question mark. So either you should possess these qualities, which is nice, or you should develop these qualities. Developing these qualities could be with the help of your colleague, could be with the help of your law faculty, or could be by choosing a law school where you are being helped in grooming, or could be with the help of your mentors, parents. So either develop. If you develop these skills, then it would be more better. So I would say first develop a passion, then develop these qualities, and then love. Start loving your book, start reading, start analyzing. And yes, of course, emotions are important. But when it comes to law, when it comes to case laws, then you have to be really, really careful. Okay. Now, moving on to the next thing, I the last thing which I would say. So, if you want to delve in, what do you have to bring out? You have to bring out your inner lawyer. Now, how will you bring out your inner lawyer? Now, you will bring out your inner lawyer by developing these qualities only. So, this was all what I wanted to tell you guys. I wanted to tell you guys because you guys are future lawyers, those who are thinking, those who are willing to go forward. So, if you want to pursue law, then just develop these qualities. So, thank you so much. So, if you have any questions, you can, or else we'll end this webinar. And I hope that it was really informative for you. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being a very patient learner.